The water moves in a slow, steady rhythm. A thin ribbon of stream winds between rocks and moss. The sound of flowing water is soft and constant, like a careful breath. In this calm, the world seems to open its listening. It is here, at the edge of river and forest, that we can begin to meet some of the planet's strangest birds. Their calls rise and fall within the gentle soundtrack of the stream. Their lives are quiet and astonishing in equal measure. Strangeness in birds shows itself in many designs. Beaks become tools, feathers become armor, and voices become instruments. Some changes are slight at first, then gather strength across generations. Other changes arrive as sudden bursts where opportunity waits. To understand these forms, we travel not through space alone, but through time. We trace habits back to the moments when birds first found a new way to eat, to hide, to call, and to survive. Consider the shoebill, a large gray bird with a bill shaped like a wooden shoe. The bill is a precise instrument for catching fish and small reptiles. The shoebill stands like a statue in shallow water. It will hold its stance for a long time. Then, with a sudden, accurate strike, it captures its prey. This stillness gives the shoebill a certain power. In swamp countries where motion is costly and prey is quick, such economy of movement is an effective strategy. Far from tropical marshes, we find the kakapo, a parrot that refuses to fly. Native to islands, this nocturnal, ground-dwelling bird evolved where predators were few. Freed from the need to escape by air, it grew heavy, developed strong legs, and learned to move through forest litter. The kakapo's life is slow and careful. Its survival now depends on human help. Introduced predators changed the rules quickly, and conservationists have labored to keep this gentle parrot alive. The hoatzin offers another oddity. It digests leaves through a fermentation process in an enlarged crop, a trait more like a ruminant mammal than a typical bird. Young hoatzins have small claws on their wing bones. Those claws help fledglings climb back to safety if they tumble from branches. To modernize the hoatzin seems a mosaic of ancient features and modern solutions, a living record of evolutionary experimentation. The lyrebird is a testament to the power of sound. Males learn and reproduce an immense gallery of noises. They mimic other birds, the calls of mammals, and even human-made sounds. For the lyrebird, sound is a language and a stage. The male arranges song into patterns that attract mates and mark territory. This gift of imitation and display is not mere imitation for entertainment. It is a sophisticated bargain in which learning and memory shape reproductive success. Bowerbird add craft to the art of attraction. Males build and decorate elaborate structures called bowers. They collect colored objects, arrange sticks, and place stones in careful patterns. The bower is judged, often with strict standards, by visiting females. In these exchanges, we see how objects and behaviors become signals of fitness. The bower translates taste, patience, and dexterity into mating opportunity. The secretary bird walks through grasslands more like a dancer than a typical raptor. Long legs allow it to hunt on foot, stamping and striking at snakes and small mammals. The feathers behind its head add a formal silhouette. For the secretary bird, mastery of the ground replaces mastery of the sky. This example reminds us that evolution finds many paths to power. From island forests to open plains, the kiwi follows a path of otherness. Small wings have little function. Instead, the bird depends on an exceptional sense of smell. The long bill, filled with sensory pits, probes through leaf litter for invertebrates. The kiwi lays very large eggs by proportion. The reproductive choices of such a bird highlight the varied strategies life can adopt. Some strange traits are found in endurance and navigation. The bar-tailed godwit makes non-stop transoceanic flights that span thousands of kilometers. Its body prepares with the precision of a living machine. Fat reserves are laid down, and the bird becomes a careful calculator of energy. Navigation relies on sun, stars, magnetic sense, and memory. In these feats, strangeness is less about form and more about capacity. Feeding strategies create much of the oddness in the avian world. Flamingos use specialized bills to filter tiny organisms from mud and shallow water. The pigments in their food tint their feathers pink. This color, a product of diet, becomes a social signal. Frigate birds, by contrast, seem built for the air. They ride wind currents for days and barely touch land. Males inflate a throat pouch during courtship, a dramatic display against the open sky. Each feeding mode produces its own logic of shape and method. Scent and sound sometimes take center stage. Some seabirds find nesting islands by the faint mineral smell of beaches. Others use low calls that travel across water and through wind. These senses form maps that animals read in places where sight is limited. The tools of perception are varied, and evolution selects among them according to environment. Adaptation can produce specialists that thrive in narrow niches. Specialization reduces competition and opens rare resources. Yet it can bind a species tightly to its habitat. When climates shift or humans alter the land, specialists often suffer most. Islands, wetlands, and isolated forests have produced remarkable endemics. There are also locations where the cost of change is painfully clear. Social life shapes many strange traits. Courtship turns quirks into clear signals. Plumage, dances, calls, construction skills, and mimicry all become advertisements of fitness. In watching these displays, we learn that beauty and oddity are not opposites. They are part of a single language. What looks eccentric to us is often precise and meaningful to those who evaluate it. These birds also perform vital ecological roles. Fruit eaters disperse seeds across distances, shaping the distribution of trees. Scavengers remove decaying matter and return nutrients to the soil. Predators regulate populations and maintain balance. Even a singular feeding habit can become a keystone service within an ecosystem. The presence of a strange species may be the glue that holds local networks together. The edge of a stream makes such connections easy to hear. Water shapes plant communities along its banks. Those plants feed insects. Insects feed birds. The soft, steady sound of flowing water is therefore not mere ambience. It hides and reveals the calls of birds, and it sets a pace for daily life in the valley. Other strange birds deserve mention for their roles in the wider work of ecosystems. Flamingos turn mud into food through a rare, filter-feeding motion. Their bowed beaks and fine structures strain tiny organisms from shallow lakes, and pigments from that diet tint the plumage. In open seas, the frigate bird practices another form of marvel. It spends long days riding air currents and rarely lands. And the male's inflated throat pouch becomes a signal across horizons. Beyond spectacle, birds move seeds and nutrients across the land. Fruit eaters deliver seeds to distant trees. Scavengers remove decay and return nutrients to soil. Predators keep prey numbers in balance. A bird that seems eccentric may be fulfilling a task no other creature performs. Wetlands and streams are rich for these exchanges. The rhythm of flowing water shapes plant communities, which shape insects and in turn shape birds. The gentle sound of a stream is part of a larger map of relations. Anyone can help protect these patterns. Simple actions like reporting sightings, supporting habitat protection, and learning about local species strengthen conservation. In daily choices, we become part of that story these strange birds tell. Adaptations can be ingenious and costly at once. Morphology that wins food may also limit flexibility. Behavioral habits tuned to narrow conditions may stop working when the climate changes. The very traits that once gave a species an advantage can become constraints. Conservation often means restoring the conditions that sustain those traits. It can also mean careful management, such as removing invasive species, protecting breeding grounds, and maintaining corridors for migration. Scientists learn from these birds through patient study. Field researchers record calls, track movements, and monitor breeding. They work with local communities and with volunteers. Citizen science projects invite people to report sightings, to catalog songs, and to help map ranges. In this way, knowledge grows not solely in laboratories, but in shared attention to place. There is a quiet lesson in the diversity of form. Each strange beak and curious habit is an answer to a problem that life once faced. Some experiments succeed and spread. Others remain as narrow lineages, beautiful and fragile. Yet every path taken contributes to the larger narrative. The record of odd traits is a map of trials and solutions, an archive written in feathers, bones, and behavior. As we draw near to the end of this hour, a reflective passage asks how we fit within these systems. The quiet of a stream, the brush of wind in feather, the distant call of a bird all point to a larger set of forces. Geological change, climatic shifts, food webs, and chance mutations combine to shape what lives and how it looks. To witness a strange bird is to witness the outcome of countless small pushes and pulls over time. That sense of perspective can ground us. When we stand by a river and listen, we are in contact with slow processes. We are reminded that life is experimental, patient, and resilient in many ways. Strange birds are not oddities for our amusement. They are living answers to deep and ongoing challenges. Their presence invites curiosity, humility, and care. There is a practical way to respond. Spend time in the places you can reach. Walk slowly and keep quiet. Record the calls you hear and share them with local groups. Support efforts to protect wetlands, forests, and coastal zones. When development threatens a valley or a stream, speak for the life that cannot speak for itself. Teach others to value subtle sounds and small movements. In cities, create green pockets where birds can rest during migration. In schools, bring the sound of streams into lessons and stories. Help young people learn local species names and seasonal patterns. Volunteer with local conservation groups for habitat restoration. Your steady attention matters, and share your observations. They become a continuing thread that helps sustain the places where strange birds live. May the soft music of the stream remain with you. May the unexpected song of a distant bird prompt a moment of wonder. And when you next hear water over stone, may you remember these lives that move through air and leaf, quietly shaping the world we share.